You think divorcing a narcissist is one big explosive moment. Like you wake up one day, pack your shit, walk out the door like some actual Netflix drama? Nah, sis, that is not even close to what happens. Most people think the hardest part of divorcing a narcissist is the actual divorce. The custody, the lawyers, the court drama. And yeah, that's brutal, but that's not what breaks you. The hardest part, it's the emotional timeline nobody warns you about. The invisible stages you go through before you even see the word divorce out loud. The stages where you're still sleeping next to him, but you're already grieving. Where you're still playing wife, but you've emotionally checked the fuck out. And if you don't understand this timeline, you're stuck in it way longer than you actually need to be. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Your Fake Apology. I'm Crystal, your Psych NP, and I know you're exhausted from wondering if you're crazy, from trying to make sense of a relationship that stopped making sense years ago. You've been told, just try harder or think about the kids. And that works when you're dealing with someone capable of change. But when you're married to a narcissist, when every conversation leaves you questioning that reality, that's not rough patches, sis. That's emotional welfare. And today I'm breaking down 7 emotional stages you go through when leaving a narcissist. From that first confusing moment all the way to the piece he can't touch. We're talking about chronic confusion, emotional shutdown, silent withdrawal, grief before it ends, the fear, relief, overlap, delayed anger, and finally emotional dependence. Let's get into it. This is where it starts, and it's so damn disorienting because you feel unhappy, but you can't put your finger on why. You love him, but you also resent him. You want to stay, but you also want to disappear. You feel guilty for feeling anything at all. It's like your emotions are speaking 5 different languages at the same time, and none of them make sense. You're crying in the car before you go inside the house. You're journaling the same complaints over and over, month after month, with no resolution. You find yourself Googling, am I the problem in my marriage at 2 a.m.? And here's the thing, you start questioning your own emotional reality. You think, maybe I'm just being dramatic. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe this is normal and I'm the one overreacting. From a psychiatric standpoint, this is called cognitive dissonance. Your brain is trying to make sense of 2 conflicting truths. He says he loves me versus I feel terrible around him. And your nervous system can't reconcile that. So it just scrambles. And this confusion, it's not a personality flaw. It's a symptom of being in a relationship when someone who constantly shifts reality on you. But here's what you need to know. This confusion is actually the beginning of your awakening. Because once you name it, you can't unsee it. And that leads us to the next stage. This is a stage where the crying stops, the fighting stops, the reacting stops. And people around you might think, oh, she's good. She's finally calmed down. Maybe things are getting better. But baby, it's not better. It's burnout. You stop trying to explain yourself. You stop asking him to change. You stop hoping he'll finally get it. You become emotionally flat. Not because you've healed, but because your nervous system literally tapped out. You've got nothing to give. It's like your body went into power saving mode just to survive. Clinically, this is called emotional shutdown. Your parasympathetic nervous system is protecting you from constant threat by numbing you out. It's called a survival response, not a character defect. And here's what nobody tells you. This numbness is dangerous if you mistake it for peace, because real peace is calm and connected. And this is dissociation. But once you recognize this isn't healing, something shifts inside of you. And that's when you start to pull back quietly. This is a stage where you don't leave physically, but emotionally, you're already gone. You pull back internally without announcing it. You share less, you care less about his opinion, you protect your thoughts, your feelings, your plans. All of it stays inside now. Then he asks, what's wrong? And you say, nothing, even though everything's wrong. But you know better now. You know that telling him the truth just gives him ammunition. You stop venting to him, you stop seeking validation from him, you stop believing he'll change if you just love him harder. And I think this is the hardest part because you feel deeply alone, even while you're still married. You're sleeping in the same bed, but your world's apart. This silent withdrawal is actually self-preservation. Your brain finally figured out engaging equally equals pain. So it's building walls to keep you safe. And I need you to understand something, because this loneliness you're feeling, it's not a sign you should try harder. That's a sign the relationship is already over, even if the paperwork hasn't caught up yet. And once you've withdrawn emotionally, that's when the grief hits. But not the grief you'd expect. This one messes with people because you're grieving while you're still in the relationship. You're mourning the future you imagined, the partnership, the family, the version of him you thought existed. But the twist is you're not grieving him, you're grieving the fantasy. You cry not because you miss him, but because you miss who you thought he was. You mourn the marriage you wanted, not the one you actually had. You look at old photos and feel nothing. Or worse, you feel angry you wasted so much time hoping. This grief is where the emotional bond actually breaks. It's not the divorce that ends it, it's the moment right here when you finally accept the person you loved never really existed. And from a trauma perspective, this is one of the most important stages because it's where you start letting go of the cognitive dissonance. The fantasy dies. The reality, as painful as it is, becomes clear. But clarity doesn't make leaving easy, because what comes next is the scariest part of all. Leaving feels terrifying. Staying feels unbearable. And for the first time, the relief of imagining life without him is stronger than the guilt of leaving. And that scares the hell out of you. You start daydreaming about your own apartment, your own routine, not having to walk on eggshells, and it feels good, maybe even exciting. But then the fear kicks in. What if I can't do this alone? What if he turns the kids on me? What if I'm making a huge mistake? You're stuck in this push-pull between two truths. I need to leave, and I'm fucking terrified to leave. This overlap is actually a sign you're getting ready. Your nervous system is testing the waters. It's asking, can I survive without him? And slowly, the answer is starting to shift from I don't know to maybe I can. And relief doesn't mean you're heartless. Relief means your body finally believes freedom is possible. And once relief wins over guilt, something powerful starts to happen. The anger arrives, but not the kind you expect. The anger shows up, but it's different now. It's not hot, reactive, or chaotic. It's calm, it's clear, it's protective. You stop explaining yourself. You stop defending your reality. You stop seeking his validation or approval. Your emotions kind of turn inward. They're safer, stronger. He tries to bait you, and you don't bite. He sends you a manipulative text, and you respond with one line, or you don't respond at all. You're not numb anymore. You're boundaried, and that feels like power. You stop wondering if you're the problem. You know you're not. This anger is healthy anger. It's your body saying, I will not accept this anymore. It's not rage, it's self-respect showing up late to the party. And boundaries are the physical evidence that your emotional timeline is shifting. You're no longer asking for permission to protect yourself. You're just doing it. And that boundary work, that carries into the final stage. This is the stage where your feelings no longer depend on his moods. His opinion doesn't shake you. His presence doesn't drain you. There's no longing, no hope, no what if. You see his name on your phone and you don't panic. You co-parent without emotional investment. You hear he's dating someone new and genuinely you don't give a damn. It's not happiness yet, but it's peace. And he can't access it. He can't disturb it. He can't manipulate it. This is emotional freedom, sis. Your nervous system finally understands I'm safe now. He doesn't get to live in my body anymore. And from a healing perspective, this is where your real life begins. Not the life you thought you were supposed to have, the life you get to build. All right, so girls, let's wrap this up. You're not going through this emotional timeline because you're indecisive or weak. You're going through it because leaving a narcissist isn't a decision, it's a process. And understanding you are in that process, that's how you stop second guessing yourself and start protecting your peace. Here's what you're walking away with. Chronic emotional confusion. You feel everything and nothing all at once. That's not you being dramatic. That's cognitive dissonance. Emotional exhaustion. Your body shuts down to survive. That numbness isn't peace, it's burnout. Silent withdrawal. You disappear emotionally while still physically present. That loneliness is the sign the relationship is already over. Grief before it ends. You mourn the fantasy, not the man. This is where the bond actually breaks. Fear relief overlap. Leaving feels scary, but staying feels worse. When relief wins, you're ready. Delayed anger. Your boundaries show up calm and clear. This is self-respect arriving late to the party. Emotional independence. His chaos can't reach you anymore. Not happiness yet, but peace he can't touch. This isn't just about understanding your emotions. This is about trusting your timeline and knowing you're not crazy for taking your time to leave. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're just done living in his version of reality. I'm Crystal, your Psych NP. This is your fake apology. You're not losing your mind, sis. You're finding your way out. If this hits home, drop one stage away in the comments. Share it with a woman who needs to know she's not alone. And follow me for more strategies that actually work when you're healing from narcissistic abuse. Take care now.